Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Marchman Act and how it can interact, for lack of a better word, with a family law case. For instance, it's not unusual for us to get a call from mom and dad who may be getting divorced. So maybe one of the parents calls us, dad calls us and says, "I want a Marchman Act my soon-to-be ex-wife." And of course, we're very careful to make sure this is not being done somehow out of spite or to sort of leverage, the other parent in the divorce case, because I'm just not going to go there. I mean, if you call me and you're doing it just to spite somebody or hurt somebody, you got the wrong lawyer. I mean, the Marchman Act is a shield. It's not a sword. It's not meant to hurt people. It's meant to help them. But if you're genuinely concerned, and even though you're getting divorced, you want to help the other spouse because there are children involved, and you want to make sure that the other parent is clean and sober and in recovery so he or she can be the best parent possible, great, I'm here to help. Now, in this particular instance, we had a mom that called and who has a son, early 30s, has been using and abusing marijuana for, 10 years, if not a little bit longer. And every couple of months she calls us and says, I think I need to do the Marchman Act. I think I need to do the Marchman Act. And we're like, yeah, you need to do the Marchman Act because his brain has been kidnapped and he's not capable of making the decision to save himself. Now, of course, what's happened is that the wife has basically had enough. She's fed up of having a husband who is, dealing with this issue and who, for whatever reason, just can't seem to make the decision to save himself. And as I explained to the mum, well, of course he can't. His brain's been kidnapped. You can't expect him to save himself. That's part of the disease. In fact, he's in denial and thinks there's nothing wrong with him, despite the fact he's incapable of maintaining a relationship with his wife, his children, and he can't, seem to hold down a job, right? It's all revolving around this use of substances, in this particular case, marijuana. And I said to them, I had a chat with the mom, and I said, look, you got to get him into treatment. And, and she's afraid, and I totally get it. And now, of course, there's a potential divorce pending, and she's afraid he's going to lose his right to see the children. And I said, yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. I'm not an expert in family law. All the lawyers take, we take these courses in law school, but could it be used against him? Yeah. So why don't you get him into treatment so that as the divorce proceeds, he's clean and in recovery and taking responsibility for his life, and you're helping him to do it. And she said, well, I'm afraid that if I get him into treatment, then the family law court's going to hold it against him. And I said, if you don't get him into treatment, the family law court could well hold that against him. And if I was representing the soon-to-be ex-wife, I would tell the judge that he is using and abusing every single day, and he's not fit to be a parent. And the last thing I would want is him around the children. And I said to her, if I'm representing the wife, that's what I would argue. And I think a judge could certainly rule that way. And so, frankly, instead of, waiting to see what happens, because I don't think it's going to go well for him, you need to get him into treatment. And it's okay to tell the family law court, look, he's in treatment. He's got an issue and he's dealing with it so he can be the best parent he can possibly be. But ultimately, somebody has to make the decision to save this young man. Okay, and when the brain has been kidnapped, it typically has to be the parent. Somebody has to step up and do what needs to be done. And so, as you know, I don't sugarcoat these things. I'm not here to, to tell you things that are not true. Somebody has to make the decision to save this young man, or there is a possibility that in addition to the fact he's going to continue to use and be completely non-functional in his early 30s, but he may well lose his children or the right to see his children. And so if you're in the middle of a family law case and you know that there's somebody there that has a substance issue, deal with it, address it. Get them the help they need. If they can't make the decision to save themselves because they're so far down the proverbial rabbit hole, then you or somebody else has to make the decision to save them. Because if we don't, then they will suffer the consequences of failing to do so. So that's my 2 cents for the day. I appreciate you tuning in. I'd love a thumbs up. And please, if you could, subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye-bye.